G'day guys, welcome back to SuperCoach with DR and welcome to the Round 10 review. Hope you had a cracking round yourself this week. I had a massive weekend, awesome weekend. So on the Saturday, the Saturday wasn't too terrific. Basically report writing all day, watched a little bit of footy. But today for me was an extremely special day. I became a godfather for the first time to little Lockie. So my best mate Brent asked me about 5-6 weeks ago whether or not I would accept the great honour, and I was absolutely over the moon. I was, it was honoured beyond words. So had the baptism today, had a couple of jobs. I had to light the candle, did that perfectly. There was a massive candle, I just had, a little one, had to light that, hold on to it. Did not burn the place down, so fantastic. But I stuffed up my other job. All I had to say was we are, and I think I said we do. Not too bad, not too many people noticed, but come on, 2 jobs, 50% of the way, that's okay though. But yeah, after that, had a massive feed, had a few drinks, had a big chat with Uncle Mike and Brent and all the family. So it was an awesome day. Some of the stories I tell you, these are true stories as well. Just very quickly, this is my Uncle Mike, so Brent's dad. Dad said his old man, so they used to live in Tasmania, his old man lost their house in a game of poker. Lost their house in a game of poker. Long story short, a week later, they find themselves in Melbourne. Gives a bloke a fake check who was selling a fruit shop. Ends up getting onto, I'll tell you, I could go on for hours. It was one of the best story times I've ever had in my life, actually. This man, I tell you, he lived his life well. Was a bookie. He's a prisoner of war. I tell you, the most interesting stories I reckon I've heard in a long time. So, thanks, Uncle Mike. Great to have story time with you as well, mate. But, and much love to all you guys. Thank you very much. It was a great honour, Moke. Really, really great honour. But back to the Supercoach. I didn't watch any footy today. Obviously had the christening, went back, had a feed, drinks, all the rest. So couldn't really give you much context to the scores in today's games anyway. But 25-29, I'm pretty happy with that. Most weeks you'd be hanging from the rafters happy. But this week, I don't know what sort of scores you've had in your leagues, but in my leagues, this is pretty minnow, pretty average. I've seen plenty of 2600s. That's probably been the average in my leagues. 2700 pluses. It was a huge week for Supercoach. I could have gone much bigger than this if I'd have got my captaincy right and on-field rookie choice right. But one thing I did get right this week was certainly my trades, and I'll get into them in a sec. So, look, apart from that, season rank 10,773. I'm not wrapped with it, but I'm very, very close to cracking that top 10k. I didn't think I'll get there even by the end of the season, the way I was going a little while ago. So playing more the conservative approach, the slower approach, 16 trades and 2 boosts left in the bank. I think I've planned pretty well for the buys. So yeah, that's the other thing. Clayton Oliver. I'll tell you, it looks like he's gone for 3 to 4 weeks with a hammy. So I've got a bit of a plan, I think. Who knows? It's very early in the week. I've just literally heard this news before I've started to record here. So I'll sort of think on the go, but I reckon I have got a bit of a plan in place anyway. So that's it for the intro. Hope you're well, guys. Let's see how the team's actually looking. Alrighty, so here it is in all its glory. 16 trades remaining, 16k in the bank, and as I mentioned before, got the 2 boosts as well. Now, before I get into the actual side, I better give you an update on my trades for last week. Originally, I was looking to go Hopper and Ralston out of the side and bring in Zeret and Drury. I ended up bringing in Zeret, which was a really good decision, and if you've been following me for the last month, you would have known that I've pegged this trade in for a very long time now, and yeah, got a pretty fair reward for that. Well done, Zachary. Great to have you in DR's Rusty Spoons, mate. But then I got to the other trade, and I thought to myself, okay, I've got Ralston there. Who are some other options? And someone that really stood out for me was Connor McKenna, because he hadn't been in great form. He had a highish break even, particularly for his 3-round average. And I thought, look, if he doesn't score really, really well this week, and I'm talking like a 90-plus type score, then I'm almost committed to trading him out next week, or else I'm losing coin on him. So I thought, I need to get him out of the side. Although he's a Brisbane man, see you later, Connor, you have to go. And then the decision was, well, which rookie do I actually bring in? So it was always going to be Drury, based on his price and based on the fact I wanted to get Ralston, a dead rookie, out of my side. But I thought, now that I've got that extra cash, maybe I can look at someone like a Bailey Humphrey. And after speaking with the boys on the Swordplay poddy the other week, I did take a deep dive into him. I rewatched his tape, and after that, I just thought there is no way that I'm not bringing this bloke in. Got a great buy. He's 200k plus, but he's got DPP, and most of all, is an absolute jet. He played a phenomenal game on the weekend, and he actually got the sole vote for a Gold Post player for the Marcus Ashcroft medal. And just on that, I'll tell you what, Huey McCluggage was ripped off that he didn't even get a vote. And wouldn't it have been great to see young Will receive that medal from his dad? I guarantee you, in the years to come, he'll have a few around his neck. But Lachie Neale, at the end of the day, a very, very worthy winner. But yeah, look, young Bailey, he's going to be a star, and wrapped to have him in the side. Got a negative break even now, so that worked out super, super well. And Drury, yeah, really unfortunate for people that brought him in or even went early on him. What did he score, a 15 or something after a 17 last week? So I definitely made the right choice there in regards to my trades, which was good. So let's get into it. I'm going to make this one pretty short. Oh, and I forgot to mention as well, tomorrow night special upload, Janeth is going to give us a post round 10 team update as well. So he's going to take you through what his team looks like, go through all of his previous trades, maybe talk about what his plans are for the future as well. So make sure you stay tuned for that one. I absolutely can't wait. Really looking forward to watching that myself. But let's get to it. So the defense this week, we had Zeeble, Stewart, Dacos, Shees, Will Day, and Josh Weddle. I'll get to him in a sec. Didn't actually get to watch this spewing. I am looking forward to rewatching this one. But Jay-Z was actually on 60 points at halftime. Only got to an 88, so what's that, a 28-point second half? That's pretty disappointing, but at the same time, he's been phenomenal for us, particularly over the last month. That massive score when we were even worried if he was going to get up or not. So I'm not going to bag Jay-Z. It's a sub 90, but I can stomach it. He's been fantastic for me to date. Tommy Stewart, again, you can stomach a 91, but you want that 110 plus. He's meant to be one of the top 3 defenders, one of the safer picks. And then you got people with Jack Sinclair, who's been a little bit out of form, a little bit out of touch. He bangs out a 160, so there's 70 points that I've just lost there. And you'd probably expect to be, 10 to 20 points up being Stewart over Sinclair. But it is what it is. Congratulations if you jumped on Jack, because I mentioned, I think it was 3 weeks ago, that he was one of the best buys. Felt a little bit silly because he wasn't scoring overly well, but he went bang this week and really reaffirmed why I thought he was going to be such a terrific pick. But not even him aside. Let's move on. Dacos, a flat 100. All good, we've all got him. Sheasel, bit of a different role this week. So played some forward, even played in the guts. Didn't play that traditional half-back role, accumulating 30-plus touches like we've seen him do before. But he looked fantastic in this role. Moving forward, though, what's this going to look like? I'd probably just rather see him down back. That's my preference anyway. We know he's going to see goal there, get his 30 plus, do whatever. I just think it's a little bit riskier playing forward and through the midfield. But just my take, you got 112, so that's all good. Will Day, this is super disappointing. Maybe I got this pick wrong. I'm not conceding just yet because apparently he got tagged. I didn't watch the game, as I mentioned, but he hasn't even given me a ton yet. I think he's got a 97 on debut, which was pretty close. Yeah, disappointing. Keeper status, yeah, I was really, really keen on him a month ago. My hopes are dwindling slightly, but not losing faith. Keeping faith with Day. Chincotta, would you call him a dead rookie? I don't think he's dead. I think he could come back into the side, but when that is, it's anyone's guess. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon anyway. And this man, Josh Weddle. So I did take a cheeky look at the stats just on the AFL app, not the actual SuperCoach scores. Saw that he had 2 goals, 9 touches at quarter time. So I said to Brent, check this out, mate. But we didn't want to focus on that. Obviously, the family was there. So I wanted to spend our time doing that. But to see a 114 from this fella, that is absolutely fantastic. And we'll go through the break-evens when I go through my trades. But, wowee, he's going to make a ton of cash. And all of a sudden, he's a really legitimate on-field option. So, well done, Weds. I know they're not going to play West Coast every week and get a 100-plus point victory. That was just unbelievable, wasn't it? I thought West Coast would be a lot more competitive, but again, different story. But at the same time, we've seen him do decently last week. He's followed it up with a huge game this week. Just phenomenal. Really happy with Weddle. Constable is a dead rookie. I'm pretty certain that he is. If he could manage to come back during the buys, wouldn't that be an absolute godsend? But I don't think we're going to be that lucky. And then we get to the midfield. So take a look at these scores and then take a look at my captain. As I mentioned in the intro, I left a few points in the bank here. I put a poll up on Twitter. Who should I go as my captain? So it was either Errol, Bont, or Zeret. And I ended up going Errol. But this was actually by mistake. I thought that I actually had it on Bont because I was playing around with it, stuffing around with it a lot. The great man Katter sent a tweet and said, nah, look, I'd go Bont. And I always trust Katter. He's a really good judge of form. And I go, all right, I'll go Bont over him, mate. Beautiful, beautiful. And then about halfway through the game, I checked my SuperCoach app, and it's bloody on error. I was spewing. But look, I didn't lose too many points there. But if I had have gone with Zeret, and that was one of the options in my Twitter poll, it was either Errol, Bont or Zeret, then, wow, what's that? 62, 66 extra points there. So that's pretty tough to stomach. But if you look at this midfield as a whole, looking really nice, isn't it? Bont, 112 is pretty low from him, under his season average. So 707, he'll come down. I don't know what his break-even is going to be. Should be pretty high. We'll check those out in a sec. But again, we're not complaining that we have Bont. Now, Clarry at 120, all good, but it looks like he may be out for 3 to 4 weeks. Now, I don't know how much of this news has been confirmed yet. I don't know if anything's actually came out of the club, so we'll wait for news. We'll eagerly and nervously wait for the news here. But we'll talk about whether or not I think he's a trader or not in a minute. But 120, all good there. Errol, super disappointing here, particularly as my captain, but he was being tagged by Bailey Scott and worked through it pretty well. So getting tagged, getting a 96, yep, hats off to you. It wasn't your fault, Errol, that I decided to go with you as my captain, or accidentally decided to go with you as my captain. I was really close anyway, so it is what it is. Lady, now mate, this is what I wanted to see. How good is this? Back to his absolute best. Dominated the first quarter, was tackling, possessions, contested, clearances, just like the Rory Laird of old. We have been missing this man from sub at 3/4 time last week to absolute beast again. Yes, I'm absolutely wrapped. Hopefully he can just keep this up. Hopefully he can keep it up. If he does, then I am a winner. I think lots of teams will actually look to be trading him in this week. It's probably him or Zeret. So given the fact I've got both of them, I'm pretty happy at the moment. Tommy Green, 119. So again, fantastic, almost 120 from him. He's been going almost low hundreds, almost high 90s at times. So anything sort of 115 plus, I'm really happy with Tommy Green. So kudos to you, mate, as Bills would say. Now, Zeret, already talked about him, 162, but this was just off the charts, you know. I didn't get to actually watch too much of this game because it overlapped with the Brisbane game, but when I turned it on, looking at the centre bounce, he'd just be on his own. There'd be no one even standing next to him, and I thought, that's got to mean good things. And so I was checking through the app at the stats, and it was just going up, 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 up. I wish I had have actually got to enjoy this match and watch it properly. I probably will. I'll probably rewatch it if I've got time during the week. So phenomenal from him, and moving forward, I think he's going to be a fantastic pick for us. Jack Steele as well. Now, I didn't see this game again, but a 135... I thought, look, if you can scrape to 100, thank you very much, SuperCoach Gods. I'll certainly take that. But the fact that he just dominated this game by the look of his score, it's just so good. It's so good. I was really, really worried about Jack Steele. I was worried about both Laird and Steele. And again, both of them subbed out at 3/4 time last week. And then we get, 280 points between them, a 140 average between them the week after. It just goes to show that a week is a very, very long time in SuperCoach. Just like the Callum Mills owners the other week, if you would have brought one of these blokes in, yeah, you'd be absolutely stoked. And talk about stoked, I did touch on him before. Will Ashcroft, well, unlucky not to take home his dad's medal. This is what we wanted to see. I told you, the Gabba average. He's just too talented. We saw that 37-39 score. But that's out of his system now, and it was a real anomaly. You're not going to see another game like that from Will Ashcroft. Just nothing went right for him, but everything he did this game seemed like it turned to gold. So he was just like a seasoned professional out there, like a 10-year veteran. And I tell you what, I've always planned to trade him basically this week or the week after, just before his bye. But I'm tempted to hold. He would have reset his break even, I'm pretty sure. It'll be... under 15, I dare say, maybe even under 10. So if you trade him out, yeah, bad luck. But if you've managed to hold on to him, very, very good move. He's just been fantastic for us. The Pepsi Max King delivers his best score of the season as well. Didn't actually need it this week. As you can see, everyone did better. But at the end of the day, thank you very much again, mate. And he's one that I'm not going to trade out either. He's just got a low break even. He's going to continue to make coin. I love the fact that he's got DPP status, so hold on to the Pepsi Max King unless you really, really, really need to trade for some reason. I just recommend holding though at this stage. Johnson came on in the sub and played a really, really nice match. So 37 points in very much limited game time should mean good things for him. I hope he comes into the 22 next week. In saying that, yeah, Freo played well, didn't they? We'll see how that goes. And this bloke's dead, I think. Playing well in the VFL apparently, but yeah, it is what it is. The ruck line this week now, this is frustrating. So a couple of weeks ago, as you know, I traded out Rowan Marshall, bought in Max Gawn, and that facilitated my Oliver trade in as well. Now, Oliver's going to be out for 3 to 4 weeks by the sound of things. I've already mentioned a few times, like a dagger to the heart. And Marshall's just been playing really, really well. Put, 50-odd points on him this week. And last week it was 35, was it? Just from memory, something around that. So that isn't good. That isn't good. Now, I certainly saved cash on it, and I made about 70k on the trade. But you really want those points on field, don't you? And he's a bad antipod to have. Spills ended up trading out Shrek, and I gave him a little bit of grief for that. But on reflection, thinking about it, his reasoning was that he didn't want Marshall as an antipod, and I think that's pretty smart play, Spills. So, yeah, I'm a little bit shattered that I've done this, but I'm hoping that I can just transfer Gawn into my forward line even, and then maybe target someone like a Timmy English. We'll see what happens there. And Shrek, 91, yeah, not a great scruff. That massive 155 last week, so again, I'm going to forgive him, but the issue is here that Marshall scored really well and English had a decent game. I think it was around a 118. So I'm definitely losing points this week in the ruck line. That's no good. Madden is a loop. And then into the forward line. So Dunkley, 153. Shout out to JB. And who was it? Was it Benny from Insider? There was someone who captained him this week. So well done to you guys. He played a phenomenal game. He actually played a bit on Matty Rao. So he just plays such an unselfish game, but because he's such a beast, all that defensive pressure, finds appeal at ease, tackles, is just, I love this bloke. I absolutely love this bloke. I loved him at the Dogs, but being a Lions man now, I'll tell you what, it's even better. Timmy Taranto, 118. He's had a phenomenal season as well. We've seen him get a 118 as my captain score the other week. So, look, you want a little bit more if you've got him as your captain, but if you don't, this is absolutely fine. This is absolutely perfect. Rosie, 140. Now, most weeks you'd think, surely he scored the most for his team, but we had Zach Butters this week. One of the best individual performances that you'll see in the wet. Kicking efficiency, scoring chains, courage, contested pill, hit the scoreboard a couple of times. It was just the complete game. Wow, what a player Zach Butters is. But unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, like I'm wrapped that I've got Rosie, and the bloke scored a 140, but you'd much rather Butters, wouldn't you, at this stage? But yeah, phenomenal from Connor Rosie, such a talented player. Cogs with a 108, so he's had a couple of lean weeks, so good to see him go 105 plus. I'll take that each week, I think, from Cogs. 105 plus, and I'm fairly happy. The Rat with a 75, just a super season from him. How good is it? Like, when you've got a player like this that's just consistent from week to week, that you can just rely as that F6, even F5 type player, it's just great. Got DPP status, so can flip him in the ruck. He's going to be a really important piece for me during the buys. But in saying that, it's a tough decision here. Rat, Mitchell, or Humphrey on field. 3 pretty good options, I think, at the moment to have on field. And Seamus, phenomenal. I was looking at the stats, as I said, looked at the SuperCoach scores, and he was on 75 points at 3/4 time. I was begging for him to get to the ton. That wouldn't make me feel as bad having Humphrey sitting there with a 101. But look, at the end of the day, 82 from rookie on field is fantastic. Even though, yeah, it wasn't 100 plus like Humphrey, I made that decision. I just felt it was a little bit safer. I was worried with Humphrey coming up against Brisbane. I was certainly hoping for a nice game from him. But I thought with Mitchell coming up against West Coast, I'm probably going to back him in because I couldn't use Roberts as my loop. I just wasn't able to do it with the timing this week. And Humphrey, I've already mentioned him. 9 possessions in the first quarter. Kicked a lovely goal. A contested mark. I think he had an intercept mark. He just did everything. And thank you very much, Janeth, as well, for really highlighting the fact that he's been following the ball and he hasn't been playing that small forward or traditional forward type role where you're just sitting back. He's following the ball. He's getting to contests, clearances, tackles. I just love this bloke. Absolute jet. So wrapped have him on the side. Matty Roberts, pretty much dead. All right, so what are we going to do for trades? Now, I must admit, I'm not a fan of actually trading out Oliver if it's 3 weeks. I've done so much to bring this bloke in, and then just to trade him out, I don't really want to do it. I certainly may, but at this stage, I'm thinking of going early on another rookie. Now, I don't know if I'm going to go through with this, but at this stage, I'm thinking, well, and look, I don't want to do this because I don't really like losing this loop here, particularly before the buys, but I'll quickly show you. This is what I wanted to do originally. A pretty simple move. I was super impressed by this bloke, George Wardlaw. First game, obviously this week, faded out a little bit in the latter part of the game, but he started like an absolute house on fire, did everything that you want to see, tough, uncompromising, and we saw why he was selected so early in the draft. So, 193,800, I'm 2,800 away from getting this spud roasting out of my side and bringing in Mr. George Wardlaw. Super frustrating, but it is what it is. What can you do? So, the other option that I've got here is to do this. So, Cincotta goes, and I'll have to do that. So, I'll have to get Pepsi Max. Now, I'll lose that loop, which is a little bit frustrating, but there you go. You got 41k there. So, where is Wardlaw? What have I done here? Sorry, I shouldn't have gone roasting at the start there. Sorry. So, very simply, I would go Cincotta out, bring Wilmot down back, and then bring Georgie in. So, why am I doing this? Well, I feel that with Weddle in the form that he's in, and Wilmot with the form that he's in, that'll be all good for a half-decent on-field score. I've still got my loop here in Constable, where hopefully I can loop them when the timing works out. And I've got, well, do you call Day premium? I'm not too sure, but I count Shears as a keeper, so probably 4 premiums here, Will Day, and I'll take that on field. The other thing that this does here is that it gives me an alternative to trading out Oliver. By getting George Wardlaw in, I think he's the type of bloke that can give you 65 plus type scores, even pushing 70. He did an 85 on debut. Could he even do better than that once he gets a bit more touch? Remember, he's coming back from injury, so who knows with this bloke. But what I do know is he's a talent, and I think they want to play him through the midfield. So that could be an option if I do want to keep Oliver. It's just the one trade I'm making a little bit of coin, nothing too much. But again, I feel like, and I'm not calling him a dead rookie, but I just don't see him getting into the side anytime soon. And I'm getting someone who's got the potential to actually give you some good on-field scoring. And then you could get Errol coming back up here for Matty Roberts, and then loop there if you want. There's many things that you could do here to get George Wardlaw's score actually on field. Because it looks at the moment, geez, what can you do here? But having Errol there as that forward, I think is a pretty important piece. So that's certainly something I could do. So let's just, for argument's sake, do that. And then you've got Clarry. So, look, we'll have to wait for news, but let's see what we're thinking at the moment. Actually, before I do that, sorry, this is going off way longer than I want as well. Let's take a look at some of these break-evens. So, 143, 125, 99 for Dacos. That's gone down again now. 92 for Shees, 110. What's that? 15. Beautiful. So 15 for Wilmot, coming off an 80-plus score this week. That's phenomenal. He's still going to make some nice coin. Weddle, all of a sudden, negative 47 break even, and he's already made close to 100k. Again, that's fantastic. You got Johnson here with a 21. Wardlaw, yeah, whatever there. 57, so he's one who probably won't even play, so that doesn't matter too much. Ashy, break even of 9. There we go. So break even of 9. Excellent, excellent. 86, 76, brilliant. 91, 99. Gee, so these break evens here are really good. Bont 181. So he's going to start plummeting down in price, but he could actually go close to doing that, couldn't he? Don't really need, so 99, 129, damn, that's gone up. Negative 54 for Humphrey. You could probably still jump on him, to be honest, with those 200s in his system. Negative 3, beautiful Seamus as well. 55, yeah, he should hit that. Alright, so my break-evens at the moment are actually looking really good. So I'm not trading out Humphrey, not trading out Mitchell. I want to keep onto the Rat for the buyers. Got that great cover. No way that I'm trading out Ashy. No way I'm trading out Moddy. No to Weddle. So, yeah, if anyone's got to be Chincotta or this bloke here, I think. But Clarry Oliver. So what do? You've got to check out your buy structure. That's for sure. Jordan Dawson. He's got a decent break even, I think. So when I say decent, a high one, not a good one, sorry. The opposite of decent. So, yeah, I'd love to get him in the side, but not in current form, I think. Not with that break even. You got Track. Wonder how that ankle is. He didn't play overly well, did he? But he could have scored more. Had a big second half, but probably not. Noah Anderson, no. Libba I'd like, but I just can't touch that last buy. Butters you'd love, you can't touch the last buy. Jordan Dawson, as I mentioned, not in current form. He's got a really high break even. Caleb Sarong. Caleb Sarong is someone that I would definitely look into. I think I can grab another one in the first buy. You hate sort of bringing someone in for what's going to be a week and then they're missing though, don't you? But everyone's got to have a buy, I suppose. So he'd definitely be one that I'd take a look at. Again, I'm not going to go into great detail now. I'll do this in the stocky. But just to give you a bit of an idea, Sam Walsh, I'm not overly keen on for now anyway. We'll see what happens with DPP status. But, yeah, not keen on getting him as a midfielder at the moment. Tukes out. Jally, no. Chera, no. Merritt Raptor got him. Andy B. So here's another one. I did mention, 2-3 weeks ago on the stocky, that I would actually take a decent look at Andy Brayshaw if he puts some decent form together. I need to see a string of games, and I've pretty much seen that now. And I also said that I'd be happy to pay up a little bit more just for that security, knowing that you're pretty much buying a decent player. You're not buying an absolute spud. So he's definitely someone that I'd consider. And you are saving a fair bit there, aren't you, on his teammate in Sarong. So Brayshaw, I think, is a really realistic trading target if I was to go there. Lachie Neale. I haven't been keen on him all season, but if you look at that price, $561 for Lachie Neale. After his buy, I reckon he'd be perfect. So that's probably where I'm going to target him. How many midfield spots? So I've got 2 more midfield spots to go. Yeah, he's definitely one that I think I'll target after the buy. He should have a pretty friendly break even now, though. Yeah, he's one that I'll consider. Rao, no. McRae, no. Parker, that was a great call from Janeth. Janeth said to take a good look at Parker. 540. Cripps, he's been really disappointing, hasn't he? Trelaw, no. Steele, I got. Chad Warner is another one. 530. Possibly. No to Kelly. Bailey Smith. Forward mid. 528. I can't look at that buy. That's frustrating with the buy. Jordan De Goey. That'd give me 200k. Jordan De Goey. 92, pretty disappointing. I'll look into him. But by having De Goey there, I'll have to pretty much go to big boys because in consideration. And then that's pretty much it, isn't it? We're not yeah, alright. So it's probably, if I was to do this, and I'm really not keen on doing it, I'm pretty much keen on just keeping Wardlaw there, which is going to hurt me, I know. It's probably going to be one of the Freo boys, to be honest. They're the most likely, either Sarong or Brayshaw. Let's just go Brayshaw for now. Now, believe me, I don't know. I'm probably not going to follow through on trading out Oliver. We'll just have to wait and see. But if I was, just for argument's sake, we'll see how we're looking here with our buys. Now, you won't have this feature if you're not a SuperCoach Gold subscriber. So I reckon it's worth the money. Just do it. All right, so we'll have Weddle come on here. So round 12 will have a full defense. Jeez, this isn't looking great, is it? But Wardlaw comes on. So Wardlaw's there. And then we've got 3 out. 1 out there. And then Humphrey B. Bear comes on there. So that'd be 4 down. That's okay if I bring Brayshaw in there. So, yeah, not too bad. And premium-wise, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 premiums. Round 13. Oh, geez, that's easy as... Yep, whatever. Round 14. So this was Clarry's buy. And now I've brought Brayshaw into it. So, definitely 2 down there. Wardlaw comes on. Possibly Johnson. You got Humphrey there. So let's just say he comes on. 1, 2. With him coming on. 3, 4. Possibly under that. So that's looking alright. That's actually looking alright. And then we get to round 15 where I'm pretty sure I've got 7 primos missing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's a tough one. But by then you can make changes. So I think I've got pretty much an ideal structure. It's close to an ideal structure. It's not perfect, but I don't mind it. Obviously, Wardlaw's going to be on that later buy, which I don't love. But even by then, could you possibly flip him? So he's going to play next week, this week, which is round 11. 12 he goes up, 13, 14. So he gets 3 price rises. You could do it. You could sideways a Sheasel maybe if you wanted to. I'm pretty keen on just keeping on to him, but that's the advantage I've got with those 2 boosts. I can make something happen during the buys. I can get pretty funky during the buys, I think. But yeah, that structure at the moment, I think I've planned pretty well for. We'll see what happens with Oliver. We'll see what happens. Alright, so last thing we'll do is captain, vice captain. So, who we got playing and when? Oh, and loops. Alright, so I'll get out of this. Where am I? Get out of show buys, clear buys. Alright, so Constable, when's he playing? There, so can I loop Weddle? Yes, so I could loop Weddle, so I'll get him as emergency. If he fails, then Pepsi Max King comes on. Cool, so I can use the loop there. That's cool. Alright, Wardlaw. Brayshaw. I don't know if I'll even have this side, but yeah, Wardlaw will just be an emergency there. Can't do much. Yeah, that's pretty much how it'll be there. Gordon certainly won't be the vice captain, but let's just... Oh, they're playing each other. Oh, we'll see how this goes. Will Shrek dominate? Will Gorn get one up on him? See how it goes. Going to be a fun watch, that. Humphrey. So, I've got to get Humphrey on, regardless of who he's playing. Now, can I loop anything here? So, I've got, Asava, Humphrey, Seamus, Mitchell. Roberts. Oh, so, Roberts playing... I've got Madden and Rat. So, there's Rat. Playing Madden. Alright, so Melbourne, Freo, Hawthorn, Seamus. So, if I chuck the E on Seamus, and he ends up scoring half decently, then I'll just do that. And then bring Gorney on. Yeah, I might do that. Alright, so I can use 2 loops there, and what I got Riaston there. Oh, look, I could possibly loop a Johnson. Look, I could actually do that. Yeah, I might do that. We'll see how we go. But look, guys, that is it for now. Sorry, I've banged on way longer than what I thought, but this was pretty much just on the run. Had a few beverages today, at the baptism as well. So maybe, yeah, a little bit all over the shop there. So apologies for that if I was. But that is it for now, guys. So remember, tomorrow night we're going to upload Janeth's post round 10 update. Really looking forward to that. We'll have the SuperCoach Swordplay poddy as well this week, getting on a special guest. And as usual, the stock market vid, I'll get it out as early as possible. And the big feedback from last week is that you want the note section back, you want the symbols back. So I'll get that done. Symbols are back for this week, so everything should be all good with the stocky as well. So that's it for now, guys. All the best of luck for this week, and I'll see you soon in the stocky. Cheers, bye.